Another day, another exciting feature. Kenya's Gold is on the road again, of course with the aim of bringing you farmers' best stories from different parts of the country. And today we will be starting on an absolutely exciting journey series on fish farming in Kenya. Now, fish is a delicacy that is enjoyed in very many households thanks to its absolutely great taste and also immense nutritional value. And when we are talking about achieving food security in our country, then the fish farming sector is a very important agri-sector that can help us achieve that. Now, 90% of the fish farmed in Kenya is the tilapia. And today we want to get into that zone to learn a lot more on tilapia farming in Kenya. I'm very sure whatever it is that you are, you're wondering, how do I start? Where do I get my fingerlings? How do I get market? How do I make money out of fish farming in Kenya? Now you'll get answers to that and a lot more right here at Kamudhanga Fish Farm in Machakos County. Come along with me. Let us meet our farmer of the day. Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi Patrick, how are you?
I'm well.
Good to see you today.
I'm okay.
Nimekuja nijifundishe mambo ya fish farming.
Karibu.
Naona tuko na pilot mrembe. Mrembe boss. So I can see everyone is dressed up. Maybe I need to follow suit.
Yes. For your safety. Your safety comes first.
Right. So we are here in Kamudhanga Fish Farm.
Yes.
Now, me being a Kamba, Mudhanga means
sand.
Mchanga. So maybe you can just start by giving me a very brief history on why Kamudhanga.
This Kamudhanga Farm Limited, and we are involved in different type of farming, but fish is our key farming. So we do fish farming, we have pig farming, we also do poultry, but fish is the main business. Right. So Kamudhanga is located in Machakos County, in an area known as Kamudhanga.
Maybe you can tell us very briefly what inspired you.
What really inspired me is initially I didn't have this passion for fish farming. This passion of fish farming came to me when I enrolled for a course in campus. This is known as applied aquatic science. Initially I didn't like it, but later on I came and I found that there's a gap in this sector, fish farming, and this has pushed me to have this passion and this vigor in this kind of farming. Good stuff. Yes.
All right. Sure. So in this region, how do you make sure that you are sustainable when it comes to fish farming?
Kamudhanga farm is in the Moor Hills. It's around 1600 meters above sea level. And one of the biggest factors that affect growth of fish is temperature. The owner of the farm, luckily in 2013, they came investors who brought in a new technology for this farm. So what we are going to see today is the new version of the farm. From that time when they had only the concrete tank, it was challenging because of temperature, but now the system are rebuilt again. Very nice system that are able to meet the temperature requirement for the fish.
Great.
And that explains why Kamudhanga is very successful, because we have the right system that are compatible to this area, and those systems aligned together with the requirement for the fish make it very easy for us to produce fish in large numbers. What we do is we say is intensive farming. So we have extensive farming, intensive farming and intensive farming. So Kamudhanga, we are at that space of intensive farming. So for farmers that don't have the capability of investing in this kind of system, the other system that you can do fish farming on, you can do in pond farming. So that's a system that you can consider. And for those that are close to large water bodies like the lake and the ocean, you can also do cage farming. Right. But other than that, there are other requirements that you need to consider before you are starting up a fish farm. And these include, one, you need to have a good source of quality seeds or fingerlings for you to grow them to maturity and take them to the market. You also need to have a good source of water. So for the water again is the quantity. The quantity should be enough for you to produce fish, because as we all know, fish live in water. The other thing, this water should be of good quality.
Talk to us about the quality of the water.
So we say the water should be fit for aquaculture. Aquaculture is the producing of fish under controlled system. So this water should be fit for this. And when we say that the water is fit for this, one, your source as a young farmer or as a small scale farmer, you have to take that water, take it to the composition analysis company to do that composition analysis for the water, and then you bring this composition analysis to a fish expert, and he will tell you whether this water is fit for aquaculture. What factors do we check? One, temperature for the water. So if you're getting water at temperatures of below 25 degrees, you have to have in mind that you will need to warm this water, because fish do well in temperatures of 25 to 30 degrees. So the other thing you need to check is your oxygen. We all know that fish only use oxygen or breathe in or respire oxygen that is dissolved in water. So for this oxygen must be lazima ikuwe ile DO, dissolved oxygen. So the oxygen level must be above 3 milligrams per liter.
How can I get my water tested efficiently?
We have the gadget to take these readings, because it's not only the two parameters that I've just discussed. There are 11 parameters that you need to check. So we come in with the gadgets. We'll take the temperature reading.
So you go to the farmers?
We'll go to the farmer.
Yes,
we'll do that.
So that at a fee, of course.
Yes, at a fee, of course, but it's something that is very manageable for farmers.
But it's an important step.
It's a very important step, because this is where it all begins. Because even the quality of this fish will be affected by this, the water, and also your production capabilities or potential will be determined with the kind of the quantity of water that you have and the quality of water that you have.
Now help us understand that process.
You need to get your fingerlings from a reputable source. And when I say reputable, I mean under the Kenya Fisheries Service, there are hatcheries that have been authenticated. There are things that they check to ascertain that this hatchery has the ability to produce quality fingerlings. So it all starts at those hatcheries. So you have to get from a source. Like at Kamudanga, we have one of the largest hatcheries in East and Central Africa. And the main purpose of a hatchery is to get fish eggs from the parents, incubate, then hatch them to sizes that are recommended to be sold as seeds to farmers. So this process starts with the parent fish. So
take us step by step in that process.
In the parent fish system tank, you normally bring in fish that you have done very careful selection. You have selected the best, male and female.
Male and female, to what ratio?
You normally do it at the ratio of 1:3. One male should be combined with 3 females. There are things that you check to ascertain you will use this male and not this other male. These characteristics that we look for. One, the genetics of this fish. You need to avoid inbreeding. So you can't pick a parent and also pick the young ones from the same parents. This will bring about inbreeding. Yeah, so they should not have any relation, genetical relation. The other thing, we should check the maturity of the eggs for the female. So there's a way we squeeze out the eggs and we look whether the eggs are mature. We also check at the maturity of the milk from the male. There's a way we squeeze it out to check for that. Then the other thing is the shape of the fish, because the shape of the fish determines how the flesh to bone ratio is. And for tilapia, we say the flesh to bone ratio should be at least 45 to 55%. Then the other thing we look at is the health status. This fish should not have any deformities, because some of these health status can be genetic and can be passed to the young ones. So we have done that. We have selected our batch. We have put them in the ratio of 1 to 3. So 1 male to 3 females. So, and then there's something that we should consider, the stocking density. How many fish are we putting in an area? So for broodstock, it is recommended you do 4 fish per meter squared. So for example, if I want to do broodstock tank, and the tank is 100 meters squared. How many fish should I put there? 400.
Right.
Out of the 400, 100 are males, well selected, and 300 are the females.
What is the danger of not adhering to that?
If you put a lot of the parents together, or you are overstocking, you're putting more. So it means the males should be very close to one another. And this, they end up fighting because they become very aggressive during the reproduction process. They injure one another, and you might even have cases of diseases and parasite in that.
All right.
If you understock, you're not maximizing on the system that you have.
Great.
So those are the dangers. So we have done the right stocking density. The other thing, we need to provide nest. Remember, in nature, the male do the nest naturally by making depressions in the large water bodies, like in the lake and all that. So in this stocking density that we are saying, 1 meter squared, we have one male. That is his territory that he's able to guard and utilize for the purpose of reproduction. So we have provided the nest. Now what happens, now the male initiates the process of breeding. So he initiates this process by changing his color. So he turns to pink or reddish. And this for tilapia. When he has turned his color like this is to attract the female. So the female will go to a particular male depending on what she's looking at and what is attracting her most. So in fish world, male do the makeup. At Kamudanga, we have documented they will court for around 2 hours. So they'll be together in the compound. The female, she's busy cleaning the territory. She's cleaning the nest. And then now when she's ready, she'll get into the nest and lay the eggs.
Talk to us about how the eggs are laid, the incubation of the eggs as well.
They release the eggs from the genitalia, and some of them releases them in batches, and the others who release the whole lot that they are comfortable with. And we have documented that our female will give us 1,000 to 1,500 eggs per spawning. So when she has done that, the male will come and externally fertilize the eggs. After fertilizing the eggs, now the female will collect all these eggs and put them in her mouth. So for tilapia, they normally incubate their eggs in their mouth.
For how long?
The eggs will stay there for, if you are not going to collect them, they will stay there for around 21 to 28 days.
And what happens in those 20 to 21 days, the feeding process?
During that time, the female, she's not feeding. So immediately she has collected the last egg, the male will chase her away.
From the
Yes, from the area, because he needs to attract another female. This is why it is recommended you're not supposed to keep male and female together in a production tank. It should only be in a reproduction tank.
All right.
Because the female she's not eating during the reproduction time, and the male is busy breeding, losing a lot of energy and all that.
But for someone who's probably not choosing a system like yours where there's that segregation, and they're probably even just here in a dam, what happens? Yeah,
it depends with the system. So if you are really going for commercial farming, and for tilapia, tilapia commercial farming, you should have your males for production.
Right.
Simply because they will not concentrate in the production. So most of the energy is going to growth, because you need to have your fish in the shortest time possible. Then the other thing is the males are known to grow bigger and they take a short time. So this is also another advantage when we say you keep all male. And this is what is known as monosex seeds.
Right.
Yeah. So the female has collected the eggs and she has put them in the mouth.
So how do we remove the eggs from the mouth now?
There is a net in our broodstock tank. So we normally lift the net and push all the fish to one area. So we normally have two demarcation. So one area with the fish, the other area without the fish. And at that point, you assume all the fish are female, because you don't want to have a chance of taking back a fish with eggs in their mouth. So we hold one fish by one. So you are just holding the fish, you open the mouth, you check the eggs are visible. So if the fish have eggs, you rinse them out. And you can see in this process, as we are doing it, we are rinsing the eggs out into a net. And at that point, we are also separating them into stages.
Tell me about those stages.
Yes. So for the stages of eggs, normally at collection point, there are 4 stages. So you have the first stage. The first stage is where you just have a round ball. And for this round ball, you stock them in their own separate jars, because there's chances some of the eggs are not fertilized and they will end up dying in the system. And if they die in the system, they will bring other issues of ammonia spikes and all that. So that's the stage 1. Stage 2 is where you see just the eye spots from the ball. So that one also we put aside. Stage 3 is where you have the head and the tail, but the fish doesn't have the power to swim around. We put that one aside. And then the stage 4 is where you have a free swimming fish. Why are we doing this? We are doing this for grading purposes, because farmers will want to come and get fingerlings that have the ability to grow at the same rate. Yeah.
So once you buy your fingerlings, you've gotten the right fingerlings, you take them to the farmer and you're taking care of them. Talk to us about what you feed them.
Yes, feeding is very critical, especially for commercial farmers, simply because 70% of your cost of production is fish feeds.
Now someone might wonder, if 70% is going to my feed, at what point do I start making profit in my business?
It should be scary and not scary, because if you do it right, you'll get a lot from it. So how do you get it right? One, it starts with getting quality feed. There's something we call feed conversion ratio, the ability of fish to convert the feed that they have eaten into biomass, because your business is to just add weight for this fish. So feeding them with quality feed improves the feed conversion ratio. So quality feeds, the other thing is giving them the right amount. If you underfeed your fish, there's a disadvantage. The disadvantage is the feed conversion ratio will go high. What is this feed conversion ratio? For example, our feed conversion ratio is between 1.3 to 1.5.
How do you tell that?
You tell that by, one, you can do, you can get the recommendation from the manufacturer, the feed manufacturer. You can do it, trial feeding in your farm to ascertain this. So 1.5, it means we feed our fish 1.5 kilograms of feed to get 1 kilo. You see? So if you underfeed, what is happening, the fish is eating, but they're not adding weight. So you're losing money. If you overfeed, you're wasting this feed. So you're also losing money. So your production cost goes high. The other thing is feeding within the right frequency. How often should you feed? For fish, it has been scientifically proven, the more the frequency, the faster the growth. So you have the right amount for the day, then you break it more. Like now in our hatchery, we feed 16 times in a day.
In a day.
So 8 times during daytime and 8 times at night.
So meaning you need to also have people on shift during the night.
Exactly.
Right. Now, as you wind up this conversation, maybe you can tell me if there are any diseases that do attack fish, and what can a farmer do to avoid, their fish getting attacked?
Yes, there are diseases and parasites for fish as any other animal. The only advantage with fish is they have a robust immune system. So most of these diseases and parasites are opportunistic. They only wait when the fish is weak and attack. And this can be brought about by having an unhealthy environment, like the temperature is too low, the fish becomes very weak, you are underfeeding your fish, it becomes very weak, and then now the pathogens will attack the fish. So we have bacterial diseases, we have fungal diseases, we have viral diseases, and there are also other type of parasite that are attack the fish. So for a farmer, what they need to do is to make sure they have a healthy environment for the fish, and also feed them with quality feed, and we'll never have cases of diseases and parasites.
All right. Thank you so much, Patrick, for talking to us and teaching us a lot on how we need to go about starting the fish farming business. Talk to the young person back at home who is scared about getting into fish farming. Just let them know how lucrative this space is.
The space is very wide for all of us, and I will give an example with the kind of demand that we have in Kenya.
Are we even meeting the demand?
We can't meet the demand of fish in Kenya, and we need more producers, and we need people who have the right knowledge to do this. The other thing is the kind of, it's one of those few agricultural activities that will give you good returns. We are talking of 30 to 40% returns at the end of the day. So the market is there, the market is huge. Yeah.
What a fantastic conversation that we did have right here with Mr. Patrick, who did study applied aquatic science. Feels absolutely great to see young people take up space and take it seriously in agriculture. He has answered the question of us as a country not even meeting our demand. So if you are looking for any particular reason as to why you need to get into the space of agriculture and fish farming, to be precise, then I hope that statement is a reason enough. Thank you so very much for watching, but please don't go anywhere because we still do have a lot more in store for you right here at Kenya's Gold.